Are you a C2 level English speaker who is looking for ways to increase your range and accuracy? My name is Sarah. I'm an English teacher and language anxiety coach. I work a lot with people at C2 and beyond, and I know that you guys face some very, very specific challenges. So this video is aimed at people at C2 and beyond, and it offers 3 suggestions on how you can continue to expand your range and accuracy in English. So the first thing that you need to be aware of is something called fossilized mistakes. And a fossilized mistake is a mistake which has become embedded in your language. So examples include little pronunciation mistakes like E and I, sheep, ship, leave, live. These remain challenging for a lot of people at C2. Small grammar mistakes, even so, are often confused. And the other thing is relying on the same vocabulary all the time, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Now, when you want to work on fossilized mistakes, there are kind of 2 options for you. Number 1 is you get your phone or you go on a Zoom meeting on your own or something and you make a recording. Okay, so if you know that you make a mistake with, for example, leave and live, I, you need to be recording yourself and testing yourself and really pushing yourself to solve that mistake. Because, you know, beyond C2, be all right, you might be happy and you might want to stop. Most people want to keep making improvements, and it's actually up to you to find the weaknesses and work on them. Now, even better than doing this alone is to do it with a really good teacher. I think one of the problems people at C2 have is that many teachers will just do like conversation classes with you. Oh, great, you know, we can talk about really difficult topics in English. That's amazing. You know, I don't really need to do anything. And yeah, that's fantastic. But you do need to look for a teacher who will still correct you at that level. Okay, because actually at C2, you need that accuracy work, and you need someone who is going to say to you, hey, you know what, that's not clear, that grammar's wrong, it's not okay to let this stuff go, because it will become fossilized and then it becomes much harder to change. Second tip I would give you at C2 is you need to keep working on your vocabulary. I have never worked with a C2 level student who said, yeah, my vocab's great. I'm really, really happy with my vocabulary. I'm not going to learn any more words. I'm done. Doesn't happen, does it? No one's really that happy with their vocabulary. So, you know, again, at this level, the onus is on you to keep learning and growing. Extensive reading, extensive listening are the best ways for you to do this. But you are also needing to work on your depth and breadth of vocabulary too. So what does this mean? Well, for example, the word bank. Now, I know you know what a bank is because you probably learnt it when you were 8, and it's, you know, the place where we go to put money. Easy. What's hard about that? Well, bank has got multiple meanings, in fact. So when an aeroplane is kind of doing this in the sky, that's to bank. And when you go and put money in a bank, not that we do that much these days, you are banking your money. And there's an idiom, to bank on something, which means you can rely on that thing. And you need at C2 and beyond to really be learning this stuff so that you have a much richer understanding of the word. That's really important. You know, C2 students often say, oh, I don't, you know, it's not the same for me as it is for a native speaker. And that's because a native speaker's got that kind of rich understanding of the words. And if you've only learnt the word bank as in that's where I put my money, you are lacking that depth of meaning. So that's definitely something you can do. The other thing you need to be doing is learning a whole load of synonyms so that you can express the same idea in multiple different ways, in multiple different settings, whether they be formal, informal, speaking or writing. And again, this is something that remains very difficult for people at C2 and even beyond C2, is having that wide range of synonyms and paraphrases to give you that kind of flexibility to be able to express yourself in any given situation. So when it comes to vocabulary, extensive reading, extensive listening, and working on the kind of depth of meaning of one word and your breadth of ability to express the same thing in different ways. And third and final tip is that you need to be practicing with other non-native speakers. Now, you might have English native speaker colleagues, you might have English native speaker friends, maybe even family members. And that's fantastic because, of course, it means that you're getting exposure to kind of natural spoken English, and that's great. But a lot of the time, English native speakers just talk about stuff, the weather. English people love to talk about the weather, football, house prices, the pet, whatever. And we don't often really challenge ourselves. A lot of conversation is actually really kind of quite mundane, I would go so far as to say. So, if you're at C2, you need to be pushing your ability to do things like take turns, hold the conversation when you're not finished, interrupt someone, obviously politely. And those skills can be very difficult to practice with native speakers, even at your level. So having a group of other non-native English speakers who are more or less at the same level means that you can create this space where you can practice things like interrupting or how to manage a conversation in English. I know in the C2 proficiency we teach you to have tennis in a conversation. In real life it often isn't quite that fast. But those are kind of like speaking sub-skills that need to be practiced with other non-native speakers who are at your level. In addition, I think you still need to be pushing yourself to discuss things in English, talk about those challenging topics, learn how to deal with sensitive issues in English, like, how do we talk about things that are potentially offensive? How can I hedge my language so that I can raise an issue without offending somebody? Those kind of skills need to be worked with other people of your level or with a very good understanding teacher. So if you've got any comments, any questions, I'd love to know what they are. Perhaps you've got some other tips for C2 level learners. That would be great if you could share them. If you're watching this on YouTube, please, you can subscribe to this channel. There are new videos here all the time. And again, if you're on YouTube, if you go to my banner, there is a link there for a free course on speaking English. There's a lot of stuff about improving your speaking, but also working on your mindset. It's completely free to sign up. Many thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon.